So warm welcome to our 2021 Adult Educator of the Year's award ceremony. As many of you know, this is an award that we give each year to a teacher in Davidson County who is either paid or volunteer, who exemplifies creativity and passion for helping our adults in the community achieve their educational goals. We're grateful to have you with us as we celebrate the amazing work of you and your colleagues across our community. I'd like to extend a special welcome to each of our 8 honorees this year. Also, I'm pleased to welcome several special guests, including our Library Director, Kent Oliver, Councilwoman Kathleen Murphy, and Mayor John Cooper, all of whom have joined us to uplift and celebrate these accomplished educators. Thank you all for being here. As we join in celebration, please help us maintain the sanctity of our conference space by treating all attendees with respect and asking for permission before you take any photos or screenshots. Note that discrimination or harassment of any kind will not be tolerated. During the ceremony, we ask that you remain muted unless otherwise prompted. We also invite you to turn on your video. This is a very engaging and interactive award ceremony, and use the chat to cheer on your colleagues. If at any point you need some assistance, please reach out to the adult literacy team in the chat, by email, or using the Attendify conference platform. So in order to kick us off, I'd like to pass to Kent Oliver, Director of Nashville Public Library, to welcome us.
Well, thank you, Megan. It's a pleasure to be here today. I think Megan knows that this event is near and dear to my heart, and make sure to include me. You know, the most important thing I want to do is thank everybody for their great work. All the educators out there, those that are being honored today, and those that perhaps are just going about their business under the radar, making a huge difference in our community. I'd also like to thank our team at the library, Megan and all of her great folks that make such a difference. I vividly remember this event last year. It was one of the first events that I attended virtually. And I remembered thinking, we're talking about adult literacy, but I'm getting some virtual literacy today. Finding out about a platform that we have meetings on, even beyond what I'd already had done. And we, you know, now I think all of us are probably fluent on 4 to 5 platforms when we're meeting virtually. You know, but, you know, it's been a long year, and I think a lot about how the pandemic has impacted literacy, especially adult and childhood literacy, but adult literacy as well, because we all know adult literacy is at the base of developing a great workforce and having people to meaningfully be able to engage in our society. And it's so critical. And I also think a lot about the library's role and the important role that the library is able to play here in Nashville and really upping the game and addressing this issue. You know, it's important that we work with the literacy community, the adult literacy community, and really make a difference. And we're able to do that through the support of Metro government and the mayor's office and the council folks who recognize that this is an important issue that we need to engage in. So I wish you all well today. I know it'll be a great little conference, and it's an important one. So never take what you do for granted. Thank you.
Let me know. Maybe the mayor's not joining us yet.
Oh,
the mayor's here.
Megan, don't want to go out of turn. But thank you, Megan, and thank you, Kent. I'd also like to acknowledge who may be online here, my great friend, Council Member Kathleen Murphy, and then our friends at the Nashville Public Library Foundation. So great to Nashville, and I'm glad and grateful to join you all, even though we're still meeting virtually, but I have every hope that that condition will be able to change. Nashville is on a mission to get to 50 by 5. That's 50% everybody vaccinated by May, early May, hopefully May 1st, but it may be May 3rd. That's then 65% of eligibility if we get to 50% of the population. And I think it's just a very different Nashville when we get to 50 by 5. And I'm hoping that that'll create a vibrant rebound, and America will have a new set of roaring 20s, I guess, just like it did a century ago. And I'm looking forward to seeing the NPL family again in person very soon. Now it's been 13 months since public health announced Nashville's first confirmed COVID-19 case. And since then we have had the most difficult year in our history. I won't even go into all of the details, but we've all lived through them. But through it all, the Nashville Public Library has been there to serve our neighbors, provide our neighbors with enrichment and a sense of community by the hardest with this unexpected challenge. And last year you launched the Summer Reading Challenge. That helped 7,000 students keep reading and learning when the pandemic interrupted their school year. I mean, it's just a dramatic demonstration of the word resilience. And the library made us a resilient city. And you help seniors and our neighbors living in the digital divide learn how to navigate technology, from virtual health appointments to video chats with their loved ones. You even repurpose 3D printers to create face mask extenders for healthcare workers. And as I think about our neighbors who struggle with literacy, I can only imagine how daunting this past year has been. A woman yesterday was communicating to me how, by the way, how difficult it is to sign up for unemployment insurance if you don't have a computer. It's just a modern fact. And also 1 in 8 adults in Davidson County is also unable to read, and that limitation is devastating in a crisis, much less internet access or the ability to go online. And literacy has to be a city's great priority. And literacy is about curiosity, exploration, and discovering new ideas. And it's about practical things like reading prescription labels and learning the benefits of immunization. But we're going to vaccinate our way out of the pandemic. And on the other side, Nashville is going to have to create a skilled and qualified workforce for the digital economy ahead that we need our kids, our adults, but our kids to be able to not only function in, but to flourish. And so it's very appropriate this morning to recognize 8 outstanding adult educators who are doing that important work every day. People who are making the difference. For the adults, learners that you work with, and everybody who calls Nashville home to make a city that works for everybody, the library is getting that job done. And I'm grateful to our esteemed educators today. I'm grateful to everybody on the call. I'm grateful to the library, and thank you, and stay safe. And let me turn it back over to you, Megan, and to Kent, and congratulations to our outstanding winners today for helping to accomplish, one person at a time, a better city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Cooper. Thank you for your leadership during this difficult time, and thank you for joining us today to honor some of those hardworking teachers that stand in the trenches and make that difference every single day with each student. Thank you, Kent, also for your kind words of introduction. We have a few additional words of thanks. First, our work is made possible through generous funding sponsorships. So we'd like to thank our funders for adult literacy at the library, which include the Dollar General Literacy Foundation, the Truist Foundation, and Nashville Public Library Foundation. In addition, we need to thank those folks who helped us select this year's winners. These people review applications each year in a double-blinded process, which means that they are unable to see the name of the agencies or the nominees themselves. And so they're evaluating the teachers based on their merits alone. And this year's selection committee included Lindsay Bassler from Dollar General, Marion Chrisman from Digital Inclusion at the Library, Chaney Cruz from Monroe Harding, Fabian Bedney from the Mayor's Office, Sabrina Miller from Truist, and Erica Mitchell from United Way. Thanks for your help in honoring these educators. One final logistical note. At our post-conference session next week, we will be giving away lots of door prizes, but one way that you are eligible to win is by earning points by coming to each of our sessions throughout our conference. And the way that we will enter you is using your name on Zoom. So we want to make sure that you have your first and last name represented in your Zoom name today. If you need directions about how to do that, Amber is going to put that in the chat. And finally, we're ready to officially begin our ceremony. So I'd like to introduce our MC for today's ceremony, and that is last year's winner, Chaney Cruz. She served on this year's selection committee, and we're so delighted to welcome her back to this virtual stage to help us honor the next class of great adult educators. Chaney, take it away.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here today, and I want to say how much I appreciate the library for hosting this event and recognizing adult educators. For most of us, it's been a little over a year of being online for meetings and events. I'm sure you've all encountered various rituals for engagement. Today, we'd like to invite you to join us in applauding our honorees using sign language. I'll cue you at the appropriate time, and we're also going to play some audio. To offer applause in sign language, hold your hand in the air and twist them a few times like this. Okay, let's practice. If you're comfortable doing so, please turn on your video now. And when I say, please join me in congratulating blank, we will share our virtual applause. Okay, let's try. Please join me in congratulating Jacqueline Miller. One more time. Please join me in congratulating Jacqueline Miller. And now for this year's nominees. I'll present them individually and read a quote from their nomination. I'll then prompt you for your applause. Our first nominee is Lori Adams, nominated by Tennessee Language Center's ESL department. Lori not only goes above and beyond for her students, she is committed to continuous growth in the organization and herself personally. Through 2020's very challenging year, she motivated us as well as her students to continue on their path of learning and understanding English. Lori has helped move adult education forward by giving quality language instruction, as well as developing a teacher training program for future ESL teachers. She sees the whole picture and jumps in wherever she's needed. Please join me in congratulating Lori Adams. Our next nominee is Peggy Cross, nominated by Servant Group International. Peggy actively modeled perseverance for her students who struggled to know how to join online classes, as well as making sure she reached out personally to connect them to classes. She pursued her students' success in creative ways, in part because she understood the difficulty of learning new things. Several ladies who didn't make it in the first week of class did later on because Peggy reached out to them and even delivered printed out instructions on how to get into online classes. Please join me in congratulating Peggy Cross. Joaquina Martinez, nominated by YWCA Nashville and Middle Tennessee Family Learning Center. Joaquina teaches at the YWCA's Adult Education High-Set program in both English and Spanish. She is extremely knowledgeable and knows how to serve students using an ever-present, culturally sensitive lens. Her students see her as compassionate, approachable, and willing to help them meet their educational goals. She has worked tirelessly to make her teaching effective and accessible for all, and for that, she is respected by students and colleagues alike. Please join me in congratulating Joaquina Martinez. Lisa LeMaster, nominated by Nashville Adult Literacy Council. Lisa LeMaster is an experienced and gifted educator. She is a creative and diligent innovator. Lisa is a role model for excellence in education, and she is relentless in her pursuit for the success of each student. One of Lisa's students said of her recently, "Lisa is my teacher and my friend. She helped me with my citizenship. She is a nice person and part of my family. I pray for her." Lisa is a leader in Nashville's adult education field. When we value people, our community strengthens. Lisa values people, and her career exemplifies this. Please join me in congratulating Lisa LeMaster. Julie Russell, nominated by Begin Anew. Julie relentlessly pursues her students in order to meet them where they find themselves. Julie sets examples through authentic love, a welcoming presence, and a humble spirit. One student recently shared, "Every time I want to quit, Miss Julie won't let me." Students who find Julie discover a person who will never let them go or slip away. She will journey with them regardless of the distance, twists and turns, or obstacles encountered along the way. Please join me in congratulating Julie Russell. Bonnie Simmons, nominated by Workforce Essentials. Bonnie is very attentive to her students and very supportive. She reaches out to her students. They discuss goals with her, and she's always open and willing to give extra help, whether it's extra work or one-on-one time. Bonnie tries to always make things a bit easier for her students and is constantly reassuring them of a job well done or that they can do it if they just try. Bonnie is very kind. Please join me in congratulating Bonnie Simmons. Emery Smith, nominated by Martha O'Brien Center. Emery always meets students where they are and ensures they not only feel comfortable upon entering the classroom, but are welcome and loved. Her classroom is a learning community that is welcoming and accessible to students from all over the world. Emery's consistent ability to innovate while applying her knowledge of adult education principles has allowed her students to find success each time they get the chance to work with her. Emery drives about 45 minutes to work each day. She is pursuing her master's degree and still finds the time to communicate with students outside of the classroom whenever she can. Please join me in congratulating Emery Smith. Bill Tiffany, nominated by Tennessee Language Center's ESL department. Bill brings a calm learning environment to his students. He is adaptable and reliable. Bill jumps into any challenge. When we had to transition to online, he completely adapted his lessons to be just as interactive and engaging for students. He went above and beyond to contact students before and after class to make sure all students knew when the class was. He took on the challenge and was extremely skilled in the online teaching platform. So he passed that knowledge on to other teachers to help them successfully teach their classes as well. Please join me in congratulating Bill Tiffany. Please join me in congratulating all of our deserving nominees. And now for our winners. I'll start with our runner-up, who will receive a prize package with items for professional development and self-care, and their agency will receive a grant from Dollar General Literacy Foundation. According to their nominator, our runner-up is a beacon of light in their established community, and their enthusiasm buoyed volunteers and students alike during COVID, carrying them through uncharted waters. This educator refuses to allow environmental changes to alter the educational paths their students pursue. They relentlessly pursue their students in order to meet them where they find themselves. They actively seek relationships with others in the adult education world to further learn and ultimately benefit their students. This educator not only moved adult education forward at their program location, but for the entire organization as well. They have an inquiring mind and personality, driven to achieve excellence on behalf of others. Please join me in congratulating the runner-up Adult Educator of the Year 2021, Julie Russell of Begin Anew. And now for our winner, who will receive a self-care package, a membership to a professional organization of their choosing, and be featured in a local press release. The winning agency will receive $1,000 from the Nashville Public Library Foundation and a grant from Dollar General Literacy Foundation. Of this year's winner, adult education colleagues have shared the following. I have found them to be extraordinarily effective in working with students, faculty, and volunteer tutors. They are welcoming while at the same time very skillful in managing the scheduling, especially last-minute changes that would fluster many people. Their obvious dedication to their work helps command the respect of all who come into contact with them. I have enjoyed working with them and think that their organization is extremely fortunate to be able to count them among its staff. I've known the winner for 4 years, and there is no doubt about their commitment, kindness, and passion for their learners, as well as their respect for the tutors. In my mind, the thing that really makes this person special is their attention to details. They provide very detailed, personalized lesson plans for each student and quietly coach the tutors on directions for implementing those lesson plans. They carefully choose a curriculum for each student and then add personalized extras, especially for the beginner learners who are struggling with the alphabet. There is no off-the-shelf curriculum designed for these challenges. Please join me in congratulating our 2021 Adult Educator of the Year, Lisa LeMaster, Office Manager and Antioch Start Now Coordinator at Nashville Adult Literacy Council. Congratulations, Lisa. Would you like to say a few words?
Oh, I'm stunned. Thank you so much. I'm speechless. um, just I want to thank NPL for hosting this wonderful event. I'm overcome because it's such an honor just to have been in this group. And I think this year, more than any other, this award has to go to all of us, you know, not just the nominees mentioned today, but this entire community. I'm coming out of this pandemic year just feeling grateful to you, to this whole community for banding together and sharing resources. And I'm sorry, you can see I'm so surprised, but sharing your talents and information and even failures with this community. Our team got very comfortable saying that we have a right to try and we have a right to fail. And when we do, we ditch that approach and go back and come up with another plan. And it's just been so wonderful to have all of you to share these ideas with. At the beginning of this COVID horror, we kind of dropped our main mission of teaching English and focused on the task of providing resources to our learners, resources that were more important than learning English, like finding food and getting medication and locating financial support to pay rent. And it was just so heartwarming to listen to all of you tell your stories about reaching out to the community. I feel unworthy, but gosh, I just want to say again that this belongs to all of us. NPL, you'll never know how important your role was for me personally. It was in those early days of floundering and having no idea what was going on. It was so wonderful to have a place to be once or twice a week, those water coolers and the conversations. So you really did wonders for me by providing some structure in a very uncertain time. So just once again, I thank all of you and congratulations to everyone. Thanks for celebrating with me today.
Thank you, Lisa. We're delighted to have Councilperson Kathleen Murphy here to offer a proclamation in your honor.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me here today. I'm Councilwoman Kathleen Murphy, representing District 24 here in Nashville. And I've got to say, I was just congratulations to everyone who was nominated. Clearly, those stories, those quotes, it inspires me. The work that y'all have done for our city and Nashvillians is truly inspiring in the world that has been so uncertain lately. And I cannot thank you enough on behalf of myself, my district, and the Metro Council for you being willing to continue to step up in some of the hardest times that we've faced. And so congratulations to all the nominations and all the nominees. Y'all are clearly leaders that should all be recognized and honored. And I am glad that my role today is to simply congratulate and read a proclamation, because I'm not sure I could have chosen between so many amazing nominees, as Lisa mentioned. But Lisa, congratulations and thank you. And if you would, I'm just going to read a little bit from this proclamation that will make it to you eventually. We will get this in the mail and over to you. But let me just read a little bit about Lisa's commitment to the organization, if you will. So Ms. LeMaster is an experienced and gifted educator. She joined the National Adult Literacy Council in January 2012 as a volunteer ELL tutor. She was matched with a student named Amid. Lisa is a relentless in her pursuit of the success of each student. And in 2014, her role with NALC dramatically increased when she officially accepted a staff position at the Antioch site, where she now runs the Start Now program and works with other community partners to provide services to students. And that program provides students with services while they are waiting for a tutor. Ms. LeMaster trains volunteers to teach English and teach basic literacy skills. She conducts enrollment and assessment to all new students, creating individualized learning plans for each student that identifies the personal interests and goals of their own. She writes up those lesson plans for volunteer tutors and students to follow and coordinates their calendars and appointments for each tutor and student meeting in the office. That's a lot of work. I think the council office could use you. We will talk after this. That's amazing. So in the adult education classroom, teachers are confronted, as you all know, with the difficulty of teaching students with different backgrounds and abilities. This difficulty is further compounded, of course, by the ESL classroom by language diversity, especially in a classroom of about 30 students. And in the academic year of 2018 and 2019, Ms. LeMaster trained 88 new volunteers to tutor in the Start Now program. In that same year, that Antioch office offered weekly English lessons to 116 students. Those 116 students received 1,672 hours of personal English instruction. I'm going to say that again, 1,672 individual English instruction hours. That's awesome. Ms. LeMaster has created an atmosphere at the Antioch site where adults feel welcomed, safe, and nurtured. And she has created a stress-free classroom where students are encouraged to try new words, practice their English skills, and learn from their mistakes. And I think that's important because she also talked about the mistakes that happened in the program. And I think it's okay for students, even if we're adults, we can mess up too, and to learn from that. That's so important. So she is capable, she's effective, and dedicated individual. And for those reasons, Ms. LeMaster, you are the perfect selection for the Nashville Public Library's Adult Educator of the Year. And I truly am honored to recognize you as an unsung hero in adult education. So thank you so much. Congratulations, Ms. LeMaster. Thank you all for this wonderful program this morning and giving me an opportunity to participate. And thank you to everyone who volunteers through this program. And thank you to the students for being willing and wanting to learn more and get more involved in our city. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Councilperson Murphy. This concludes our award ceremony. Please join me in once again congratulating all of our winners and our deserving nominees. I encourage you to share your congratulations, well wishes, and memories in the chat. Before we log off, I'm going to hand things back over to Megan for some housekeeping issues.
Thanks to Chaney, thanks to Councilperson Murphy. I don't know if anybody else needs some tissues, but we're going to take a tissue break in just a moment. We have a couple other announcements. First, at 10 o'clock, we've got an option to take care of yourself by doing some yoga with Amy Pierce. She's one of our NPL staffers and she's great. So if that feels stretching out after this emotional morning feels good, please join Amy for yoga. And then our conference concludes with a 2-hour workshop at 10:30 where we're talking about digital literacy and training, and we're looking at the results of a study about how we responded to COVID. So we invite you to join us for that next session. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let us know in the chat or email the adult literacy email, but we hope to see you later this morning in yoga or in our workshop session. Congratulations, thanks for being here, and thanks for the hard work that you do every single day.